very sorry for our homeland. Our country is suffering because some of our leaders took very wrong steps. And we are amongst the sufferers. We are a small section of Pakistan. The whole of Pakistan is my country, and I weep and I ache for the whole of the Pakistan, and so does every Ahmadi. But some people, they do not want even the Ahmadis to be mentioned. Why is that so, my dear friend? Let Ahmadis at least cry out when they are hurt. There's nothing wrong with that. But Ahmadis do not say, and I am aware, if you look at the newspapers and the Ahmadiyya media, the point is that you do not see the Ahmadiyya media. You only see the newspapers and the media in Pakistan where the Ahmadis are not mentioned and the rest of it is mentioned. And the Ahmadi statement in the media will never be given coverage. So that is unfortunate as it is, but we condemn all terrorism, and the terrorism against my country is the misfortune of my country. I pray day in and day out that this element or this virus should somehow be treated. And I am with you, my friend. Let us all jointly condemn. And you should also raise your voice against terrorism when against Ahmadis. Ahmadis will always raise their voice against terrorism wherever it happens.
Jazakumullah. Dr. Saab, if I could also come to you, that was a very comprehensive and also detailed account. And of course, Mujib Saab being where he was in the Supreme Court of Pakistan is well placed on his comments as well. But just taking sort of recent events as well in Pakistan, the assassination of the governor of Punjab, Salman Taseer, the assassination of the minorities federal minister, Shahbaz Bhatti. These were both examples, two clear-cut examples of two individuals who, despite notwithstanding the pressures, actually said, we were talking earlier about it, that the first duty of state, the first responsibility of any government is to the equality and enjoining justice, as Mujib Saab said, for all citizens. Here were two gentlemen who actually spoke out against the blasphemy laws, which I will come on to in a moment or two. And for that, their own security guards, the people who were protecting them, turned against them and shot them in cold blood. I mean, that is the reality which we have. Now, the Pakistani government, clearly, it was an attack on the government and they perceived it as such. But they see it more an attack on the institutions of state rather than an attack on two people who spoke up for not just the human rights, but the civil rights of all communities as well.
This certainly is a sad indictment for the situation in Pakistan, that people who wish to speak out against blasphemy laws and what is happening there, government-based or not, they are in fear of their own lives, that they do not speak out in terms of that. And you have pointed out these two examples of people who actually alluded to the fact of speaking against the blasphemy laws, and what was the outcome of that. So it is the situation in the country which obviously is very dire in that respect, that people are very much aware of this and not willing to speak out, or people who do speak out, this is the end that they get. But as far as the Ahmadiyya response to that is, and we have the Khalifatul Masih who addresses the whole of the Jamaat through MTA, and he repeatedly reminds Ahmadis of the situation in Pakistan for all its citizens, not for just the Ahmadis. And the last two Friday sermons, Hazur has again reiterated the fact about the situation in Pakistan and the plight of the citizens of Pakistan, has said that it is our duty, as always, that it is we must obviously pray and turn to the Creator to actually change the situation so that life becomes tolerant for all its citizens, not only through the corruption and the lawlessness, the lack of civil order, natural disasters that keep hitting the country, terrorism. You know, the whole package, as it were, is against Pakistan in general. And as Mujib Saab has said, yes, we do mention Ahmadis in that same breath, and we have right to do so, but it is the whole of the citizens of Pakistan that our heart goes out to. We are in a different situation to Mujib Saab because I don't live there, and living further away, perhaps it actually affects us to a worse degree because we are not aware of the situation.
Do you think it's worse, or do you become immune
from
it?
No, you don't become immune to it because it's a global village now, the whole way. And anything that happens in Pakistan, we are aware of it almost at the same time. So in certain respects, we are worse in that situation, that we're living away, we don't know exactly what is happening, and then we're not able to do anything solid apart from turning to Allah and praying for our country, that may Allah remove this affliction that it is under, so that all the citizens, including Ahmadis, are able to live a life of peace.
Jazakallah, Dr. Saab. But just on a wider point, I think you mentioned Hazrat Khalifatul Masih, and obviously the Ahmadiyya Muslim community is quite unique in that it comes under a spiritual leadership. Khalifatul Masih the fifth, Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, was recently in Norway as well, and of course Norway fell victim to some atrocious terrorist attacks of someone who went round and attacked and indeed killed many young people. And again, there was a response, and quite a robust response from Hazur on that element as well.
Yes, indeed. I mean, Hazur mentioned this when he met the leaders of the country about the sad state that they found themselves in when so many young lives were lost. And this is such wastage of the youth, you know, and wherever it happens, Khalifatul Masih, obviously being the leader of the Ahmadis of the whole world, is aware of the situations that arise in different parts of the world. In that respect, is also aware of the tragedies that is affecting places like Norway when incidents like that happen, and in other parts of the world. And Hazur